I'm just still trying to figure out what the hell I just watched. I was hoping that this was just a bad dream, but I went on Google and this isn't a nightmare. All Eyez on Me was the first album that Tupac released on Death Row Records after his bail was paid by Suge Knight. Now it is the supposed true and untold story of the rapper, actor, / icon known as Tupac Amaru Shakur. I was anxious about seeing this movie as the history of biopics about hip-hop artists aren't that good, with 8 Mile and Straight Outta Compton being the anomalies. The most pivotal and obvious question being, how good would Demetrius Shipp be as Tupac? Tupac as an icon is one of the most conflicted and multifaceted artists I've ever had a chance to listen to. To say that he was a complex human being would be an understatement. Would this production team, writers, and cast give this movie the love and care it deserves? I'm sorry to say, but after waiting for this movie for about an eternity, this thing is a disappointment. The film begins in the middle of Tupac's career as he's being interviewed at Clinton Correctional Facility, where he is serving time for his sexual assault case. Tupac and the interviewer, played by Hill Harper, serve as the narrators for the film. In the beginning, we see Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, as a Black Panther, leaving court triumphant after winning her case where she was charged with conspiracy to carry out a series of bombings in New York City. Shortly after, Tupac's stepfather, Mutulu Shakur, who was also an activist, is arrested. Because they are being followed by the FBI, Afeni, Tupac, and his sister are forced out of New York. They pick up with Pac in Baltimore in 1987. He's at Baltimore School for the Arts in class for about 2 or 3 minutes with Jada, and this is all we see of the School for the Arts. Now, as a Baltimore guy, I take deep offense to this. Not only is the School for the Arts a prestigious institution, but this is the place where Tupac began to become the artist we now know him as. Looking back on that period in his life, Tupac is quoted as saying that during his time at the School for the Arts is where he felt the most free, the place where he could fully be himself. And none of this is in the movie. We don't see him blossoming as a young creative. We don't see him growing into himself. We see him and Jada lock eyes and briefly talk in class. Pac says that he connected with Jada on a level beyond romance. But they don't dive into their connection. We don't spend enough time on their relationship. They show him reading a poem called Jada to Jada in Druid Hill Park in West Baltimore. In this poem, Tupac writes, "You're the omega of my heart, the foundation for my conception of love. When I think of what a black woman should be, it's you that I first think of." And they don't give us any background or context as to why Tupac would feel that way about Jada. Yes, Jada is intelligent, beautiful, talented, but what happened between these two people to make Tupac write such powerful words for this individual? In reference to the film, Jada tweeted, "Forgive me, my relationship to Pac is too precious to me for the scenes in All Eyez on Me to stand as truth. Pac never read me that poem. I didn't know that poem existed until it was printed in his book. Pac never said goodbye to me before leaving for LA. He had to leave abruptly, and it wasn't to pursue his career. The reimagining of my relationship to Pac has been deeply hurtful." I am truly amazed. This is the epitome of laziness. Nobody could hit Jada on FaceTime and ask her like, "Yo, Jada, did Tupac really read you that poem in Drew Hill Park?" She would have been like, "Hell no, this is what happened." And then they would have been historically accurate. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Tupac is a made-up character. There's still so many scenes that were given no background or context. It's like either they bring it up and don't explain it or just skip over it. The time from his childhood to his death in this film is a complete and utter blur. We barely get a whiff of the roots that helped him become the superstar that he was. Put it this way, if we had a final exam on Tupac and we knew nothing about him, and this movie was the Cliff Notes, we all gonna be in summer school. I'm sorry, we all failing. We barely touch his relationship with his first manager, Layla Steinberg. Steinberg took Tupac in while his mom was battling drug addiction. She was his writing coach and mentor. She exposed him to Machiavelli the Prince, the Book of the Dead, the occult teachings, Buddha, and more. This was old school artist development. This is a key part of his foundation and a part of the knowledge that he poured into his rhymes. Thankfully, in a few scenes, we are a fly on the wall in the studio watching Tupac's legendary work ethic. He's accredited for finishing his album All Eyez on Me in 2 weeks. Going into the acting, let me preface this. I know that this is Demetrius Shipp's, I believe, second role ever. I know that for any actor, playing Tupac is a tall order. While Demetrius is the spawn of Tupac, he did a serviceable, average job at playing him. There was some ups, there was some downs, which is to be expected. This is the brother's second role. But during the scene where he is reenacting Tupac playing Bishop and Juice, I was cringing, man. It was so painful to watch. If you know anything about Juice, the role of Bishop is arguably Tupac's best performance as an actor. On top of that, when we think about his acting career, this infamous hallway scene is one of the best. Shipp sounded extremely monotone and detached when Tupac was the exact opposite as Bishop. However, one huge bright spot in Shipp's favor is that he had the body language down, especially when he was recording in the booth and during the performance scenes. And Dominic Santana as Suge Knight. I mean, what can I say? Suge Knight's legend of evil continues to grow with every film. From Straight Outta Compton,
and one other thing I like to say,
to Surviving Compton,
any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star,
and now All Eyez on Me, this guy is Voldemort.
And we won't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos.
Every different account we see, we just see a new level of evil that he reaches.
All on the record, dancing.
He's Voldemort. He's the king of Slytherin.
Come to Death Row.
And again, reaching back into the plot, not enough time was spent on extrapolation and showing the impact and the significance of the events that were unfolding on the screen. The East Coast West Coast beef was treated like it was a footnote or minor plot point. This beef is 1st and 2nd Corinthians in the rap Bible. Most notably, Pac's song Hit 'Em Up is one of the biggest moments of the feud, aimed at Biggie, Puffy, and the Bad Boy label, and will go on to be one of the most vicious diss records of all time. This conflict and the events surrounding it might have led to the death of Pac and Biggie. It forever changed the landscape of hip-hop as we know it. They didn't even address Tupac being paranoid about being killed. They didn't even address his premonitions about his death, which was about, I don't know, 50% of his catalog? Overall, this movie was a flat retelling of the life of one of the biggest hip-hop legends to date. I left this movie feeling underwhelmed and sad that another account about another one of our musical icons failed to live up to the greatness of its subject. If only the writers put half as much effort into creating the script as Tupac did his rhymes, this would have been a better film. I'm giving All Eyez on Me a grade of 5.8. So what did you think about All Eyez on Me? Let me know, comment below. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button, press that share button. If you want to help me create more videos more often, pledge $1 to my Patreon page. This keeps me out of the Hunger Games. If y'all don't pledge that $1, I'm showing up to your cookouts. I'm yelling Cousin Pete and I'm getting a plate. I'ma let you know, mothers, they love me. Aunties, they love me. Grandmothers, they adore me. And they all trying to feed me. And I ain't gonna be cruddy about it when I show up. I'ma help y'all fold up the tables and put the food away. But if you don't pledge that $1, just know that I forewarn you, I'm at the cookout. I'm at the family reunion. And we got more movie reviews coming your way. And we got more book reviews coming your way. And we got more random stuff coming your way. I'm in the bathroom.